Good morning, beautiful dreamers. It is December 16th, 2023. This is episode 17 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. Oh my gosh, I had just the most incredible performance last night at Chadwick's Pub and Grill in Medford, Oregon, of all places. I got another show tonight, but last night's show was just incredibly fun, incredible energy. The audience was amazing. It's a very it's a unique venue. So it's a restaurant and bar attached to this restaurant. And they've been producing shows here for a long time, my understanding, like maybe a decade or so. And it's a booked show. I got booked to be on it by a professional casino booker. And, you want to know what? I'm at the hotel and the heater just turned on. I'm going to turn it off just in case that hum is bleeding into the mic. All right, and off it goes. Wait, the fan's still on. Okay, now the fan is off. So, I'm not even going to edit that out because this is happening live. Well, live when I recorded it. So, anyway, back to the venue. So the venue, it's this bar and grill, pub. There's a restaurant area and a bar area. Not huge. Probably seats maybe 50, busting at the seams. Had a pretty full house. It wasn't packed. There were kind of empty seats, but there's tables that have tables that will fit like 6 chairs, and there were a couple of tables that had like 4 people there. But they were also, that's how big their parties were. So it's kind of understanding that there wasn't enough people that they're going to be like having parties mix and mingle with people they don't know, that sort of situation. But man, they were just really incredible. And I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, definitely people who've been doing it a lot longer, but every time I do a show, I still have those nerves, those, just that little voice that's like, what if this doesn't go well? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not able to get them on my side? And, I never really feel comfortable until I've been on stage for a little while and have had a couple things go well. And in a show like this, where I'm the headliner and there's not really a lot of constraints on me, meaning nobody's lighting me, nobody is, going on after me, nobody's expecting me to, I don't have to follow a lot of parameters, I guess. Which is not the case with a lot of other shows. Like if I'm doing a show at a comedy club and it's the 7:00 show, even if I'm headlining, it's usually like, well, you need to be done in exactly 25 minutes because we need to end the show and we need to clear the room and we need to get ready for the 9:00. And, there's wait staff and there's just a lot more sort of bureaucracy to navigate, and not in a bad way. It's just that's how it is sometimes. But anyway, there wasn't really any of that in this situation. It's just one show, started at 8:00. The people came there for a comedy show. They paid to get in. They just want to laugh. They want to have a good time. And so I was able to just be really loose. Did a lot of crowd interactions that were really fun, which I absolutely love doing. And there's sort of this debate going around that I'm seeing on TikTok of comedians sort of criticizing comics who do crowd work. As a matter of fact, just before I started recording this video of Mark Maron on TikTok sort of making fun of that whole idea. So he's kind of doing a parody of the fact that as a comic, it's expected that you do a lot of crowd work and post it on TikTok. So he's pretty much doing a parody of him doing a TikTok video doing crowd work. And I'm going, yeah, but I do that. And the reason I do it is because it's actually what I enjoy doing the most. I think a lot of it is because I started as an improviser, as an improv actor. And so being off the cuff and being interactive with an audience is how I cut my teeth as a comedian for 7 or 8 years before I ever tried to do stand-up and tried to write jokes and write material. As an improviser, I never wrote one joke ever because it's all made up on the spot. So I trained my comedic brain to be in the moment, interactive, impromptu with an audience. So I did that for 6, 7 years. And then I started doing stand-up. And it was a really challenging shift for me to go from improvising everything, making everything up on the spot, to learning how to write and to write bits and to write jokes and to write material, and then to try to develop that skill set of getting that material to where it's strong enough to where it stands on its own and I can perform that same joke over and over and over again and get laughs at it consistently. So in a situation like last night, I'm not really in a situation to where it's expected that I do only material. The audience came there to laugh, and I want to get them to laugh as much as possible. And when it's done with the right energy and done effectively, people love crowd work. They love interaction. It's rare that any written material I've ever done gets as big as a laugh as the best crowd work that I do. So doesn't speak very highly of me as a writer, but it's just different. It's different to be like, oh, hey, this person in the front row, oh, what do you do for work or whatever? And then they say the thing, and then we start interacting, and then I'm starting to riff on what they're saying and start building this energy and building this sort of narrative based on this conversation that the whole audience is watching in real time, and they know it's happening in real time because that's a stranger. And just by the nature of what's going on, it's so clear that it's impromptu. So to go from that and then shift to, so what's the deal with airlines or whatever? It's a very different energy. And what I am finding is when I am able to do crowd work up front, first of all, it gets me to relax because I start to then feel a connection to the audience, and it really gets the audience focused because it's so present. The energy is so present that, I just feel the audience really start to hone into me and to focus in, and they really start enjoying the energy. And so last night, that's what happened. I was riffing off this gentleman, kind of in the front row, and then there was a guy in the back, and then I kind of started pinning them against each other, and I did that for 7, 8, 9 minutes maybe, and really got the audience at a real high energy level and a high level of focus. And then from there, I brought that same energy when I started my material. And even though the material, it's slower, that's how I can describe it. With the crowd work, it's like boom, 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 boom. It's punches, it's energy, it's boom, 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 boom. When I go to material, it shifts a little bit because now it's set up, punchline, and it just takes a little bit longer to get to the laugh. But I'm finding that when I'm able to pull that off successfully, that I still get bigger laughs in my material when I've warmed them up with crowd work and kind of got them on my team, that when I start doing my material, it seems like it brings a different energy. And I think a lot of it is probably because I have a different energy. Like I noticed last night that this material that I've been doing, for a while, I brought a much different, higher, expressive energy to it than I think situations to where, for whatever reason, I didn't do any crowd work. I had a big show about a month ago that I filmed, and I intentionally did not want to do any crowd work because I wanted it to be a special. The problem with crowd work is it does have a tendency it doesn't record very well if you don't have a full production crew to make sure you're capturing everything. And I usually don't. So anyway, so I didn't do any crowd work when I filmed this set about a month ago. And because of that, my energy, I'm not going to say low, but it definitely wasn't as high an energetic gear as it was last night when I kind of worked the audience up into this frenzy by just interacting with them and talking to them and making jokes and riffing and letting them know that I'm totally present here in the room, and everything that is said and everything that happens in this room is part of this experience, and I'm going to latch onto it. I'm going to comment on it. I'm going to bring attention to it. But man, it just made for a really, really fun, exciting show. And what was very humbling and humble brag here is, so I was supposed to do about 45 minutes, and I just told the guy, well, just light me at 45, and then I'll just wrap up, because again, it was kind of a loose format. So I had just gotten done improvising a song about this guy who I'd been talking to throughout the show in the front row, and then I improvised the song about him. I had rented a keyboard up here in Medford, and people loved it. They went nuts. And so then after that, I just said, okay, well, that's about my time. I don't think I'm going to be able to be funnier than what I just did. So you guys want to call it a night, or do you want more? And literally everybody said more. And I even said, okay, well, let's just make sure, cheer if you want me to keep going. Cheer if you're like, nah, we've had enough, we want to call it a night. And nobody cheered. And, maybe they were just being nice, but it didn't feel that way. They felt very genuinely excited to continue to let me entertain them. And so I did about another 15 or 20 minutes of stand-up for them. So anyway, just a really fun, exciting show to be a part of. And I'll tell you, for all you dreamers out there, man, when you get a chance, when you've fought through all of the bullshit and dealt with so much of the negativity and the discouragement and the doubts, and then you finally get a chance to just have a really good experience. It hopefully makes all of the flip side of being a dreamer and being a performer, an entertainer, or whatever it is that your dream is, it just makes it worth it. So really, really exciting, really fun time to be out here in Medford. And I got another show tonight. I already had a handful of people who were there last night who said they're going to come back again. So now I get to play the fun mental gymnastics game of, well, am I going to just do the exact same material that I did, or mix it up a little bit? So I'm already starting to think about reworking my set a little bit to give them a different blend and mix of material than they heard last night. So really fun times. So that is the update here from Medford, Oregon. And I'll tell you, everybody, if it's in your heart, just keep at it, because I think about all of the times I've wanted to quit and give up on comedy and have been so discouraged and have had some just absolutely devastating experiences that almost did me in. And somehow I've pushed through them all and kept at it, and then I get to have an experience like I did last night, and that I'm looking forward to having this night, and just gives me a little nudge, a little reminder that maybe there is a purpose to it all. And maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But if you're out there and you're pursuing what's in your heart and you get into those moments of discouragement, which I think are inevitable. I'll just tell you, if it's in your heart, just keep at it. It's all part of it. And you'll hopefully soon have an experience that is so incredible that you'll be thankful that you didn't turn in, you didn't give it up, you didn't quit. All right, my beautiful, lovely people, love you all out there. I hope you're happy. Hope your journey's going well. And let's continue our to work towards our dreams together. So it is December 16th, 2023, episode 17 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. Let's make it a great day, everybody.